This lesson is sponsored by the Ladies Project, a unique online community for women learning English as a second language. We help women to transform their relationship to English, to become more comfortable, more courageous English speakers. Enrollments are open now, but they're closing soon. Membership costs just $34.99 a month, and the link is in the description if you want to find out more. Well, hey there, I'm Emma from mmmEnglish. I hope you've been having an awesome day so far. Today's English lesson is going to be short and sweet. I'll go over 4 different ways that you can use a very common, very useful word, actually. We'll also practice the pronunciation to help you sound more natural and relaxed when you use this word. Actually is one of those English words that has several different meanings, and it can be used in a few different ways. But it can also be placed in different positions within an English sentence as well. So that can make it seem a little confusing. And with many of my students, if they're a little confused about a word or a little unsure about how to use it correctly, they tend to avoid it. But we don't want to do that. There is no need to avoid this word. It's an incredibly useful word. Check it out. We can use actually to emphasize a fact, to express surprise, to correct someone politely, or to change topics in a conversation. It is a very, very handy word to know. Now let's start with the pronunciation, actually. Technically, there are 4 syllables in this word, actually. But when spoken by a native English speaker, when they say it naturally, the word reduces down to 3 syllables. Actually. Actually. So the stress is on the first syllable. It's the strongest sound. Ac. And in the second syllable, the vowel sound reduces down to the schwa. You can hear it with the ch consonant sound. Ach. Ach. And then the last syllable is a short I sound. Actually. Actually. The schwa sound is the secret here to natural pronunciation. It's not actually, but actually. It's a really relaxed sound. Actually. Actually, check out my lesson about the schwa sound right here for some extra practice. You'll get lots more pronunciation practice if you practice with me out loud during this lesson. There's going to be lots of examples, so get ready to speak out loud. So there are 4 different ways that you can use the word actually in English sentences. And number 1 is to emphasize a fact or something that happened. It actually takes longer to fly from Melbourne to Perth than it takes to fly from Perth to Melbourne. So I'm using actually here to emphasize a fact. It's true. The wind direction has quite a significant influence on the flight time, so it's much faster to fly from Perth to Melbourne. I've heard so many different versions of the story. I wish I knew what he actually said. I want the truth. I want to know what he really said at the time. I've only heard from others. Do you know Paul? We've spoken over the phone, but we've never actually met. Have you got an example that you can share in the comments below? I want you to write a sentence, if you can, where you're using actually to emphasize a fact. Number 2, you can use actually to show surprise at something unexpected. It looks like my brother actually arrived on time. I'm a little surprised. He's usually late. I was so tired, I actually fell asleep in the back of the taxi. Did you hear that they actually sold their house? It's been on the market for ages. Now, actually can also be used to correct someone politely. Oh, I don't work for the government. I'm self-employed, actually. We're late. The meeting starts at 12. Actually, I think it starts after lunch. How long has she been living in Sydney? Actually, she lives in Singapore now. Now you can actually use actually to correct yourself, which is cool. when you make a mistake or you're unsure. I'm meeting with them on Thursday. Actually, it might be Friday. Can you think of your own example to correct someone politely? If you can, add it to the comments below so I can check it out soon. And finally, we can use actually to introduce a new topic or to add some extra information. Actually, I need to ask you about something before you leave. Oh, I've been meaning to talk about that with you actually. So notice how in both of these examples, when we use actually at the end or at the start of a sentence, we use a comma. And this is really important for your writing, but also when you're speaking, it also signals a little pause. So that was the 4 ways that you can use actually. But I've got a couple of extra tips that I want to share with you to actually make sure that you're using actually correctly. Because some of my students get a little confused between actually and currently. Now in English, these are not synonyms. They actually moved to Tokyo is not the same as they currently moved to Tokyo. In fact, that sentence is completely incorrect. Actually and currently are different. And the last thing that I want to share is actually and actual. They have very similar meanings. Actually is an adverb, actual is an adjective. Their meanings are similar. Actual means real or factual, and it can also be used for emphasis. But they are used in different positions within a sentence. So usually the adjective actual is found before the noun. This is the actual spot where we met. Or this is the actual spot where I teach you. Now the adverb, actually, is usually used at the beginning or the end of a sentence or before the verb. Actually, this is where I film my videos. I actually film them right here. This is where I film my videos, actually. So I hope you actually learned something this lesson and that you actually start using this word a little more frequently in your English sentences. Make it a challenge for this week. How many times can you use the word actually? Keep it top of mind. Give this lesson a like, and if you're thinking, actually, I've got a friend who should really watch this video, well, make sure you share it with them. Here are a couple more lessons to keep you busy. I think that you'll actually like this one right here. I'll see you in there.